Do animals have souls? There are moments when you look into the eyes of an animal and something inside you pauses. You see more than instinct, more than motion. You see awareness, depth, a quiet knowing that words could never hold. In the stillness of that gaze, something ancient stirs, a reflection of the same breath that once brought humanity to life. When a dog waits at a door long after its master is gone, when a bird sings after the storm, when a horse stands in silence beside a grieving soul, we can't help but wonder, do they feel? Do they remember? Do they have souls? From the beginning of time, animals have walked beside humanity. They've plowed our fields, guarded our homes, carried our burdens, and even comforted our loneliness. They do not speak, yet somehow they understand. They love without condition, forgive without pride, and serve without question. In their eyes, we sometimes see a reflection of something far greater than ourselves, the echo of a creator whose fingerprints rest upon all living things. The book of Genesis tells us that God gave the breath of life to every creature that moves upon the earth. In Hebrew, that word nephesh means living soul. It's the same word used for mankind. Perhaps the question then is not whether animals have souls, but what kind of souls they are. For while human souls are eternal, capable of moral choice, worship, and communion with God, the souls of animals speak in another language. Theirs is the language of beauty, innocence, and reflection, a reminder of a world once unbroken, where creation moved in harmony under the care of its maker. When we lose an animal we loved, the pain cuts deeper than reason can explain, because somewhere deep down we know love like that does not come from nothing. It comes from God, and what comes from God cannot truly die. So perhaps the eyes of an animal see more than we realize. Perhaps, in their silence, they are not less alive, but more attuned to the heartbeat of heaven itself. For the same breath that gives life to us breathes through them. And in that sacred breath, all creation whispers the same truth. Everything that lives carries the soul of its maker. Number 1. The breath of life in all creatures. In the beginning, when the world was still silent and the earth had not yet felt the warmth of sunlight, the Spirit of God moved gently over the waters, and with a word, a divine whisper, life began to rise. Trees reached upward, rivers began to sing, and creatures of every kind took their first breath. Each one, from the smallest sparrow to the mighty lion, opened its eyes to a world filled with the breath of the Creator. Genesis tells us that God gave the breath of life not only to humanity, but to every living creature that moves upon the earth. The Hebrew word used is nephesh, kaya, a living soul. This same word describes both man and beast. It means that the very essence of what makes something alive, its spirit, its will to move, to feel, to exist, comes from one holy source. We are not separate streams of life. We are rivers that flow from the same eternal spring. This truth humbles the heart. We often think of animals as lesser beings, silent shadows moving beneath us. Yet the Bible reminds us that their life too is sacred. The same God who formed Adam from the dust also shaped the wings of the eagle, the eyes of the deer, and the heartbeat of the lamb. When we hear the rustle of the forest or the cry of the ocean, we are hearing echoes of that first divine breath that still lingers in creation. And perhaps that is why animals touch us so deeply, because something in their being calls out to something in ours. When a cat curls beside you in quiet trust, when a dolphin leaps with joy, when a wounded bird still tries to fly, all these moments are small miracles, reminders that the breath of God continues to move through all living things. To breathe is to bear witness to the Creator. To live is to carry a spark of His Spirit. And every time we see life, in any form, we are seeing a reflection of the one who breathed into dust and made it dance. The same breath that gave you life also gave life to them. And in that truth, creation itself becomes one great hymn, every heartbeat a note of worship to the God who made all things alive. Number 2. The difference between the human soul and the animal soul. There is a sacred mystery that unites all living things. Yet within that unity, there is also divine distinction. The same God who breathed life into every creature also set humanity apart, forming man and woman in his image. It is not a statement of pride, but of purpose. Every living being bears God's breath, but only humanity bears his likeness. Animals feel deeply. They know joy, fear, loyalty, and even grief. Science observes it, but the soul recognizes it. A mother elephant mourns her calf. A dog waits for its master's return. A bird builds a home, not out of reason but out of love. These moments remind us that emotion and connection are not ours alone. They are threads woven through all creation by the same divine hand. Yet, there is something within the human soul that reaches beyond the visible world. We do not only feel, we ponder. We do not only exist, we seek meaning. Within us burns a longing for eternity, an awareness of right and wrong, a hunger for communion with the invisible God. No other creature lifts its eyes to heaven and asks, "Who made me?" No other voice prays, worships, or dreams of everlasting life. The soul of man is moral and eternal, capable of choice, to love or to reject its maker. The soul of an animal is innocent, pure, instinctive, untouched by sin or rebellion. One reflects God's image, the other reflects his goodness. Together they form a living portrait of the Creator's heart, justice and gentleness, authority and compassion. When humanity fell, creation fell with it. The harmony between man and beast was broken, and the world began to groan for restoration. But even in the shadow of sin, animals still mirror the innocence that humanity lost. Their trust, their humility, their devotion, all are glimpses of what Eden once was and what heaven will be again. So yes, animals have souls, not in the same eternal sense as ours, but in the purest sense of life breathed by God. Their souls do not reason, they reveal. They remind us that existence itself is holy, that life in every form is a reflection of divine love. And when we look into their eyes, we are not looking into emptiness, we are looking into the quiet echo of the Creator's first breath. Number 3, God's love extends to every living thing. From the first dawn of creation, God's love has never been limited to humanity alone. It flows through every mountain and river, through every heartbeat and wingbeat. The same love that shaped Adam from dust also shaped the lion's roar, the dove's song, and the gentle rhythm of the ocean. To God, all life is sacred, for all life comes from Him. In Psalm 36:6, King David writes, "O Lord, you preserve both man and beast." This simple verse carries a profound truth. Divine compassion does not end at the edge of human experience. It stretches across every form of life, from the grand to the unseen. When a sparrow falls to the ground, Jesus says the Father knows it, Matthew 10:29. Not one creature escapes His sight, and not one life exists without His care. The story of Noah's Ark is perhaps the most beautiful reminder of this truth. When the flood came, God did not save only people. He commanded Noah to bring pairs of every living creature into the ark. The covenant of mercy was not between God and man alone. It was between God and all flesh. After the flood, when the rainbow appeared, it was not a sign for humanity only. It was a promise to the entire creation. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters. Genesis 9:12-17. Even in the smallest details of Scripture, God's affection for His creatures shines. He told Jonah that He pitied the city of Nineveh not only for its people, but also for the many animals that lived there. The same God who numbers the stars also watches the deer in the field and feeds the ravens when they cry. If God's love extends so far to creatures that never pray, never preach, never reason, how much more should our love extend to them as well? To mistreat the innocent is to wound the work of His hands. To show kindness, even to the smallest life, is to honor the heart of the Creator. All creation sings His glory. Every living thing, great or small, bears the mark of His generosity. And when we love what He has made, we love Him. for the Creator and His creation are never truly separate. Number 4. Will animals be in heaven? It's a question whispered in countless hearts, from children mourning their first pet to elders remembering a faithful companion. Will the animals we love be in heaven? The Bible does not answer this question directly, yet within its pages there are glimmers of hope, small windows into a future where all creation is made new. In the book of Isaiah, a prophetic vision unfolds, one of harmony restored, of peace unbroken. The wolf will live with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat, and a little child will lead them. Isaiah 11:6-9. This is not merely poetic language. It is a picture of the world as God intended it to be, a paradise where fear and death no longer divide, where every creature once at odds dwells together in divine peace. The Apostle Paul echoes this vision in Romans 8:21-22. Creation itself will be set free from its bondage to decay and brought into the glorious freedom of the children of God. Creation groans with us, waiting for redemption. It means that the story of salvation is not only about souls, but about the restoration of everything that was touched by the fall, including the creatures who share this earth with us. When God renews heaven and earth, He will not erase His masterpiece. He will perfect it. If the Creator cared enough to save animals from the flood, to feed them in the wilderness, and to make covenants that included them, why would He not include them in the world to come? Perhaps in that eternal kingdom, we will see again the creatures we once knew, not as shadows of memory, but as renewed reflections of divine joy. The dog who taught you loyalty, the bird whose song brightened your morning, the horse who ran beside you, each one a note in the eternal song of God's creation. Heaven is not merely a reward, it is restoration. The God who makes all things new does not abandon what He called good. So when you think of the animals you've loved and lost, take comfort. Their lives were not meaningless. They were part of the same symphony of creation that will one day be played again perfectly, eternally, in the presence of the one who gave them breath. In heaven's silence, the earth will sing again, and perhaps among the choirs of angels you will hear the soft echo of familiar footsteps beside you. Number 5. The lessons animals teach us about God. Every creature that walks, flies, or swims is more than a marvel of design. It is a living parable. Each one reveals something about the nature of its creator. In their simplicity, animals often reflect truths that human hearts, clouded by pride and worry, have forgotten. Look into the eyes of a faithful dog, and you will see devotion that never asks for explanation. That is what love looks like when it is pure, steadfast, patient, forgiving. Watch a mother bird tending her fragile nest through wind and rain, and you will glimpse the tenderness of God's care. The quiet strength of an ox, the playfulness of a dolphin, the still grace of a deer drinking at dawn, all these are brushstrokes in the portrait of a loving Creator. Jesus Himself used animals to reveal divine wisdom. He spoke of sparrows to remind us of God's attention. Not one of them falls to the ground without your Father knowing. He called His followers to gentleness by pointing to the dove, to endurance through the ox, to courage through the lion. Creation is not a mute background to human life. It is a teacher, a reflection of the word that spoke it into being. Animals teach us how to trust. They live without anxiety for tomorrow, resting in the provision of the day, a lesson humanity too easily forgets. They forgive quickly, love freely, and give themselves without calculation. Their joy in simple things, the warmth of the sun, the rhythm of rain, echoes the purity of Eden before the fall. When you care for an animal, you are not just feeding a body, you are tending a spark of divine life. And when one looks back at you with understanding, there is something sacred in that exchange, a reminder that God's image is not confined to humanity's face, but reflected through all that breathes His breath. Perhaps that is why heaven will not be silent. Scripture says that all creation sings His praise, the chirping of birds, the roar of oceans, the rustle of leaves. Every sound is part of a greater hymn. And when we listen, truly listen, we hear more than nature's melody. we hear the echo of our Maker's heart, teaching us again how to love as He loves. Number 6. Our responsibility toward God's creation. To recognize that animals carry the breath of God is to recognize our sacred responsibility toward them. We were not placed above creation to exploit it, but within it to care, to guard, and to reflect the compassion of our Creator. From the first Garden of Eden, humanity's purpose was clear. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. Genesis 2:15. Dominion was never meant to be domination. It was stewardship, the duty of love in action. Each creature, great or small, was made with intention. None exist by accident, and none are forgotten in the eyes of their Maker. When we harm what God has made, when cruelty replaces care, or greed overshadows gratitude, we wound not only creation but the heart of the Creator Himself. To be cruel toward the weak is to forget that we too are sustained only by mercy. The more we understand God's love for all that lives, the more we see that every act of kindness toward His creatures is a form of worship, feeding the hungry bird, sheltering the stray, protecting the forest, showing gentleness instead of neglect. These are prayers of the hands, offerings that rise to heaven without a single word spoken. In a world that often forgets the sacredness of life, believers are called to be its guardians. The Apostle Paul reminds us that the whole creation groans under the weight of human sin, waiting for the day when the children of God will live in harmony once more. Until that day, we are its caretakers, not its owners, its shepherds, not its masters. To love animals is not sentimentality, it is theology, lived out in compassion. It is to echo the heart of the shepherd who leaves the 99 to save the one. It is to honor the Creator by protecting the breath that He gave to all things. When you show mercy to the smallest life, heaven takes notice. Because in that moment, you mirror the image of the one who made you. The God who sees every sparrow fall and still calls it precious. Conclusion: the soul in every living breath. When you look at the world, the movement of the sea, the cry of a hawk, the heartbeat beneath a child's palm, you are seeing the breath of God made visible. Creation itself is the language through which the Creator speaks. Every creature, every leaf, every pulse of life is a syllable in that divine sentence. It is good. The question, do animals have souls, may never be answered with perfect human clarity. But perhaps the better question is, can you see the soul of God in them? For wherever there is life, there is love, and wherever there is love, there is the presence of the eternal. The difference between human and animal souls does not divide us, it unites us. We are all part of one vast chorus of life, all breathing in rhythm with the same Spirit who spoke light into existence. We are connected not only by biology but by divinity, by the breath that moves through everything that lives. One day, when all things are made new, creation's song will rise again, not as a faint echo but as a great symphony. The lion will lie with the lamb, the bird will sing without fear, and humanity will once more walk in harmony with the creatures of the earth. The fracture of Eden will be healed, and every living thing will find its place in the eternal peace of God. Until that day, we are called to remember. Every life is sacred. Every breath is borrowed. To care for creation is to honor the Creator. To love what He has made is to reflect His heart. For in the eyes of the smallest creature, in the cry of the wild, in the quiet trust of a loyal friend, the soul of God still shines. And when you listen closely enough, you can almost hear it. The gentle whisper of eternity moving through every living breath.